Salud, mi gente, your boys coming through once again. As many of you guys know, there's different platforms who have reported the incident of Folsom State Prison, right? And where two inmates unalive another inmate by the name of Brian J. Diguez, who was 34 years at the time. He came into a system into CDCR in 2016 from LA County and was sentenced to 21 years for manslaughter. So far, what? He had like 9 years in CDCR plus whatever time he had in the county fighting his case. Let's say he possibly had 10 years and 6 months in the system altogether. He was very short to the house. I will not give him more than 2 years. He was between a year to 2 years. I'm telling you. So one of his family members hit me up. To be specific, one of his primos hit me up. And basically wanted to clear the name of his primo who was in prison, right? Because he didn't appreciate saying that he had mental issues, right? And was asking me, why would they say they had mental issues, man? Like, how did they know this information? How do they know if he signed off the SNY chrono, right? And I'm like, honestly, man, you are the source. You're the one who knows more than everybody. You're the one who was talking to your primo on the phone. You're the one who knew about this transfer. You knew where he was at. So the only reason that I see why he was signed off his SNY chrono is if he was on a higher level, on a level 3, got transferred to another level 3, and guess what? And this level 3 is a GP, right? So guess what? He can't go GP if he's on a SNY level 3. Simple as that. The only way is getting rid of the SNY chrono. So you have to go to a special committee, which I don't think if he had issues, mental issues, committee will approve that. Nor I don't believe the committee will approve it just like that. Just my opinion, right? So then he started telling me about his cousin, right? How he went into the system, and everything started making sense. And I know what happened, man. So he said his cousin came into the system not knowing English at all, right? He got an education. I believe he got his GED, meaning that he gained a lot of rack credits, a lot of milestones. So I'm telling you, he was very short to the house. And how do I know this? Because this relative is telling me that his cousin in prison was always bringing up the subject of him going home soon, right? He was a little bit confused about the percentage and the rack credits, milestones, and stuff like that. And trust me, it's not simple to understand it. It gets complicated, especially if you barely know how to speak English, man. Even for individuals that know English fluently, man, it is difficult to understand it. You have to actually study that stuff, right? In order to actually understand it. How much time you can get per year and stuff like that. And it's complicated, man. But once you make it make sense, it's simple. So that's why I know that he was short to the house, right? Very short. So then he was saying how he picked up English. He was surprised how he picked English super fast in prison. He was in a lower level, Chino specific. He said he came from Chino, lower level. He said level 1. I don't know if it was a level 1. There's a level 2. But let's just say I believe he was in the level 2. But let's say he was in Chino, right? And why do I believe he was in level 2? Because I think he got a 115 that got his points up. He didn't go to the hole, but he did something. They got his points up and sent him to a level 3, right? But this is the tricky part. The tricky part. When you go to those integrated yards, I'm telling you because I've been on those, you have to sign off your SNY chrono. It's like, hey, you want to go to a lower level? Sign it off. At least with me, they took me to a special committee for that. And because they oversaw my ice hole. Why? Because there was not an electrified fence, right? So they took me to the special committee, and that's what they do. I believe that's what they do. They take away your SNY chrono in order for you to program with everybody, right? I think this is what happened. He was on those integration yards. He picked up time. Now he don't have his SNY chrono on his file, and he got sent to Folsom State Prison. So his primo is telling me that his family member in prison is saying, "Hey, I got a transfer to Folsom GP," and he didn't think nothing of it. Of course, the family member outside is like, "Hold on, what do you mean GP, bro?" But this individual is not understanding it, and it goes with this, man. Not necessarily because you know a little bit of English, it means that you comprehend how everything works in prison. Trust me. Trust me. We all been through that. We all been through that. I started getting everything like towards the end when I actually put it like I'll actually put my mind into it. You know, but first it's like too much thing going on behind you that you don't even know what's going on, right? When it comes out to media. But this is why they send him to a GP, which again, it does not make it okay. CDCR, that warden with or the assistant warden with the captain, with the counselor, should have known that was a bad idea. I told the family member, "Hey man, request that paperwork, man. If you have to hire a lawyer, hire a lawyer." As for right now, man, he said, "I have requests for that paperwork. They shut me down. But right now they're trying to get the body of his cousin, right, who was native from Guatemala. They're gonna get his body. They're gonna send him to Guatemala to his family over there, you know." So this is the reason why I believe they send him over there. Now, I'm not saying that was the right move to do from CDCR. That's why I advise them, "Hey, get a lawyer, bro. Get a lawyer because that's not okay." Those guys should have known better. They doing it on purpose, you know. And people need to be accountable. Need to be found accountable. Simple as that. It doesn't mean that just because you are or you don't have that SY chrono, you are in those integrated yards, that you can go back to the higher levels of a GP, man. It does not. I don't know what he did, what kind of 115 he got. As a matter of fact, the family member didn't know if he got a write-up. He didn't know why he got even the transfer, right? So, if he was on a lower level, in order for him to go to a higher level, it's because he got a write-up. He got some kind of points, right? But at the end of the day, the family member just wanted to make clear that his primo didn't have no issues. His primo always was talking about how soon he was, of being released, the plans that he was making to go outside and stuff like that. And now with this information, I don't think he signed off that SNY chrono. Simple. They just took it away from him when he went to those integrated yards. And that's one thing that people have to go through. You know what I mean? If you want to function in those yards, if you were in an SNY yard, you had to sign off that chrono. You know, so people don't become liable, right? So with this being said, we're out. Hopefully you like this information, just to make everything clear, man. Shout outs to the family of Brian Diaz, man, who are doing whatever they can to get his body and send them to Guatemala. And it's just something that I felt like I had to do, man. And he wanted me to do this. So with this being said, we are out. The next video. Muchas gracias. Saludos.